Hi, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Nitro Konvoi POWSURF project. I'm here with Ben Dietermann, the owner and founder of Konvoi Snowboards and POWSURFers. Ben is a guy that we met a couple of years ago, and we felt we wanted to do something in the POWSURFing area. For me personally, it was a bit of a flashback. When I started snowboarding, it was very similar to what POWSURFing is today. And we felt, even though we have a lot of know-how in Nitro with snowboards, we don't really know much about how a good POWSURF is built and designed. And it actually is very, very different, as POWSURF is not just a snowboard without bindings. There's a lot more know-how that goes into it. So we were lucky enough to meet Ben and start working with him. We rode together and tried out many different shapes. Ben is kind of I want to say a mastermind that, is trying out many different things, new shapes, new ideas and concepts in his workshop. And it was very, very intriguing to us to work with somebody who has this much know-how. So for us, it was amazing to work with you, and I think the outcome is working really well. What was your initial motivation to even work with a brand like Nitro?
Now, for me, it was just like in general, like just entering this kind of industry. It was just like, very interesting and fun to, just interact with other people behind boards. And then also, like, especially with this topic, it was, to see how that there's different. For me, it's kind of standard POWSURF or snowboard or whatsoever. And so then seeing like, different guys, people getting on the boards and how hyped they are and how they react to certain shapes and stuff like that, and especially going out with you guys, like seeing you all sparked up. And for me, it's like I really love POWSURFing, but in a way it's really still a niche. And for me and like a big group of friends, it was just like such a new thing we're all so hooked on. So I kind of, this needs to be spread, and how I'm a small brand, have a small brand, so how can we spread it? And so it was kind of, and then naturally there was this connection, and so let's make something happen.
I think that's what our main motivation was. We wanted to do something in POWSURFing, but we didn't want to take away from such an advanced and forward-thinking and designing brand like yours. We felt our part in it could be to help more people getting into it. We have distribution, we have, of course, salespeople, we have motivated, shops that can get behind it. And we felt, that it would be worthwhile to create a product together that, we could offer to people that want to try it out, get into it. And if they want to get more involved with it, they can always step up and get something more advanced. And so we never wanted to take business away from you. We wanted to create something with our reach as a brand. People can try. We do festivals. People can get on as POWSURFer at any of the places where we show our boards. And we wanted to use that, combine it with your know-how. And honestly, we could have not done this board. Most of this board is designed by you. But it was super fun to talk about the differences. We rode these boards from 140 to 2 meters that you built. And it's interesting even now, the difference, between the board that we designed here together and the boards you're offering. For you, what was the biggest difference, apart from production, which is a different place, but from the design aspect, what was the most difference between this board and the typical boards you make?
For me, it was kind of just getting to the topic from a different perspective, because I kind of got caught up in like, okay, where can I take POWSURFing? Okay, I'm gonna do more rails and I'm gonna go into the alpine terrain and stuff like that. But then I really realized how much it just caters to people, just like really all kinds of people. And so like with this, okay, you got the audience, you're just known worldwide and kind of spreading the fever. We kind of need a board that is like easy entry, like really like very natural to get on, get moving, get into the turns. And so I kind of went to a more puristic approach, kind of more subtle features on the base, and yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's noticeable. You know, if you compare like the Nitro Konvoi POWSURF to your typical boards, that it makes it a little bit easier. You know, maybe there's a level where if you want to push more, you need a more advanced board. That's normal, even with snowboards. But I think it's a very good board to get into power surfing. It's not intimidating. It's short enough, to make it turn easily. It's wide enough to float in the powder. One of the most interesting things for me when we, started trying all these boards in all the power surfers were that they don't dig in the powder like a typical snowboard. When you're standing, on top of the mountain and you kind of want to get into the powder field, your nose sometimes tends to dig. Even if you have a big board and everything, and the power surfers don't do that. They float. And it's partly in the design, partly in the spooned nose, and I think partly in the fact that they don't have a nose radius. They have basically a rocker that goes all the way through. I think that's the main difference. The flotation is amazing, even though they're so small.
Yeah, like as you said, it's all about the combination of features, and it's just like for me, it's important that it's a power surfer. It's not a snowboard, and not just like, okay, this is a kind of we just take the bindings off, but no, like really you have a new free space to fill with new design aspects. And so, okay, maybe I don't like rocker snowboards, but with power surfers, it's just like the thing I want to ride.
Yeah.
And as you said, like how the board picks up speed, that's just such a difference. And for me,
it's pretty amazing. In the powder, it's amazing. It makes me want to try that idea for a snowboard, because it's like, man, they float, Why should somebody power surf? Why should somebody even try it, in your mind?
Because like when you're hooked onto being outside, it's just like something that gets everyone. Kind of stay away from it. It's highly addictive. So.
It's crazy. It's so. I don't even see snowboarding and power surfing competing in a way. For me, it's an add-on. Power surfing is so playful. It can be anything from you take your family, and a board, and you all just go up on the hill and have fun. That can be it, or you take it, you just go some crazy, steep face. But for me, the cool thing is getting into is it's easy. It's also challenging. As an experienced snowboarder, I was very blown away by how much you feel the board, how much you feel the differences between different board shapes and designs. And of course, personally for me, it's a crazy flashback, because that's how I started, like 40-something years ago. Most of the snowboards were kind of like this, not as advanced, but kind of similar in a way.
Yeah, the idea was, it's just the origin, like just taking a surfboard into snow. Yeah. And now it's kind of reinterpreting it. So I think it's really, really rewarding to go out and try it. Even with your family and friends, try to, find a board somewhere and try it out. Yeah. Whatever you do, I would always recommend get a well-designed board. Just a plank doesn't really give you as much fun. Try to get a board that has more design ideas going into it. I think that's the only advice I would give. I mean, you can really have fun on anything. Like if it's a bit of downhill and you got that powder, but like having a bit more like the possibility to make precise maneuvers. Yeah. It's just like, okay, it opens up much more. And for me, it's like a lot of people come to me like, I'd love to try, but I don't want to miss those 10 really the epic days. And like for me, no, like on the epic days, just ride whatever. It's fun. Yeah. So, but like you have a cloudy day, you have a whatever. Just I really love it as a tool to spice up those days where you kind of have low expectations, but then with the power surfer you find that small
you don't need
patch.
Much you don't need much. That's the cool thing too. You need a little hill is already enough, not to say that that's where it stops, but that can be already a lot of fun.